A controversial move from a school board that has accorded criticism in the past to call a by-election after the sudden resignation of a long-term serving trustee in just months after a municipal election, with some calling this a rush decision made for the wrong reason, costing taxpayers an estimated $177,000.
Wait a week and then make the decision.
In this video provided to CityNews, parents are seen expressing frustration after a special meeting at the York Regional District School Board last week, saying the board rushed to a decision after discussing the sudden resignation of Anna DiBartello. In her letter to the board members, the Ward 1 and 2 trustee cites personal reasons for her abrupt leave after 15 years, also asking for privacy. 24 hours after notifying trustees on January 10th, the board voted 7-4 in favor of a by-election. That didn't sit well with some parents, including the woman who took on the YRDSB 2 years ago over racist incidents involving her son at school. Charlene Grant was also called the N-word by a trustee who later resigned. In this recent election, Charlene also ran against DiBartello, coming in second.
Be as transparent as possible and let the public, taxpayers, see that there is considerable thought going into this decision. It's not just a rush decision, and you're being considerate of our funds.
Do you think the board should have voted that day?
No.
Why?
Trustees were telling you they are undecided, they feel rushed. That should have been the pause button right there. You have 7 new trustees sitting there and 3 veterans. That's not, in my opinion, not enough time for them to consider such a serious decision that would affect lives, monies that could be used in schools.
And I did reach, I spoke with a source who was inside that meeting last week. They wanted to remain anonymous, but they tell City News that some of the trustees felt that this decision was being rushed, that they didn't have enough time to review it. They thought that they would be presented with the options last week and they would come back at a later date to vote. And we do want to make it clear that the board has the right to handle a vacancy with a by-election. We asked the YRDSB if the trustees were giving ample time to review these options and if these options were discussed at the meeting. A statement from Chair Corey McBain reads, quote, "This was presented in a report available publicly, which transparently outlines all the options and information necessary for trustees to make a decision, including the cost of a by-election. After a healthy discussion and careful consideration of all options available, trustees determined that holding a by-election would provide the residents of Vaughan with a fair process to democratically select their representative." Since 1991, the board has had to replace 8 trustees between elections. In 7 of these cases, the board decided to appoint someone specifically to avoid the expense of an election. Some parents also question if the board didn't appoint the second runner-up, Charlene, because of her history.
I'm hoping it has nothing to do with me, but I don't know. I don't want to be naive to it, but I know the board. I've dealt with them for a long time, and I've always had to fight every step of the way for even simple things.
Are you considering running again?
I am considering running. I cannot give up now, and I don't want to.
And by the way, we did reach out to the YRDSB asking for an interview, but we were told that the chair would not be available today. We also spoke with the City of Vaughan, who oversees the board. They would only tell us that they are aware of this by-election and voting day has been set for April 25th.